let me completely shift topics on something that's
It's
fascinating.
all the same topic, but great.
Everything is interesting. What do you think about what the hell is money? And the recent uh, the recent excitement around cryptocurrency that brings to the forefront the philosophical discussion of the nature of money. Are you bullish on cryptocurrency? Are you excited about it? What does it make you think about how the nature of money is changing?
No one knows what money is. Probably no one ever knew. Go back to medieval times. Bills of exchange. Were they money? Maybe it's just a semantic debate. Gold, silver. What about copper coins? What about metals that were considered legal tender but not always circulating?
Yeah.
What about credit? So being confused about moneyness is the natural state of affairs for human beings. And if there's more of that, I'd say that's probably a good thing. Now, crypto per se, I think Bitcoin has taken over a lot of the space held by gold.
Hmm.
That to me seems sustainable. I'm not short Bitcoin. I don't have some view that the price has to be different than the current price, but I know it changes every moment. Uh, I am deeply uncertain about the less of crypto, which seems connected to ultimate visions of using it for transactions
Hmm.
in ways where I'm not sure whether it be, prediction markets or DeFi. I'm not sure the retail demand really is there once it is regulated like everything else is. I would say I'm 40-60 optimistic on those forms of crypto. That is, I think it's somewhat more likely they fail than succeed, but I take them very seriously.
So we're talking about it becoming one of the main currencies in the world. That's what we're discussing.
That I don't think will happen.
So, but the reality is that Bitcoin used to be in the single digits of a dollar, and now has crossed $50,000 for a single Bitcoin. Do you think it's possible it reaches something like $1 million?
I don't think we have a good theory of the value of Bitcoin. If people decide it's worth $1 million, it's worth $1 million.
But isn't that money? Like you said, isn't the ultimate state of money confusion, or however beautifully you put it?
It's like valuing an Andy Warhol painting. So when Warhol started off, probably those things had no value, the
Yeah,
sketches, early sketches of shoes. Now a good Warhol could be worth over 50 million.
yeah.
That's an incredible rate of price appreciation. Bitcoin is seeing a similar trajectory. I don't pretend to know where it will stop, but it's about trying to figure out, well, what do people think of Andy Warhol? He could be out of fashion in a century. Maybe yes, maybe no. But you don't think about Warhols as money. They perform some money-like functions. You can even use them as collateral
Hmm.
for like deals between gangs. But they're not basically money, nor is Bitcoin. And the transactions velocity of Bitcoin, I would think, is likely to fall, if anything.
So you don't think there will be some kind of phase shift? Will it become adopted and become mainstream for the trend for the main for one of the main mechanisms of transactions?
Bitcoin, no. Now, Ether has some chance at that. I would bet against it, but I wouldn't give you a definitive no.
And you wouldn't put it at
Bitcoin is too
zero.
costly. It may be fine to hold it like gold, but gold is also costly. You have smart people trying to make, say, Ether much more effective as a currency than Bitcoin.
Hmm.
And there's certainly a decent chance they will succeed.
Yeah, there's a lot of innovation. I mean, with smart contracts, with NFTs as well. There's a lot of interesting like innovations that are plugging into the human psyche somehow, just like money does. Money seems to be this viral thing. Our ideas of money, right? And if the idea is strong enough, it seems to be able to take hold. Like there's network effects that just take over. And like I particularly see that with. I'd love to get your comment on Dogecoin, which is basically by a single human being. Elon Musk has been created. It's like these celebrities can have a huge ripple effect on the impact of money. Is it possible that in the 21st century, people like Elon Musk and celebrities, I don't know, Donald Trump, The Rock, whoever else, can actually define, the currencies that we use? Maybe can Dogecoin become the primary currency of the world?
I think of it as like baseball cards. So right now, every baseball player has a baseball card.
Hmm.
And the players who are stars, their cards can end up worth a fair amount of money.
Yeah.
And that's stable. We've had it for many decades. Sort of the player defines the card. They sign a contract with Topps or whatever company. Now, could you imagine celebrities, baseball players, LeBron James, having their own currencies instead of cards? Absolutely. And you're somewhat seeing that right now, as you mentioned, artists with these unique works on the blockchain. But I'm not sure those are macroeconomically important. If it's just a new class of collectibles that people have fun with, again, I say bring it on. But whether there are use cases beyond that that challenge fiat monies, which actually work very well.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I sent money to a family in Ethiopia that I helped support. In less than 24 hours, they got that money.
Digitally. Yes.
No,
So,
not digitally, through my bank, my
no,
primitive dinosaur bank, BB&T, Mid-Atlantic Bank, headquartered in North Carolina, chartered by the Fed, regulated by the FDIC and the OCC. Now, you could say, well, the exchange rate was not so great. I don't see crypto as close to beating that once you take into account all of the last mile problems. Fiat currency works really well. People are not sitting around bitching about it. And when you talk to crypto people, the number who have to postulate some out of the blue hyperinflation, where there's no evidence for that whatsoever, that to me is a sign they're not thinking clearly about how hard they have to work to outcompete fiat currency.
there's a bunch of different technologies that are really exciting that don't want to address how difficult it is to outcompete the current accepted alternative. So, for example, autonomous vehicles. A lot of people are really excited.
Yeah.
But it's not trivial to outcompete Uber on the cost and the effectiveness and the user experience and all those kinds of.
Correct.
Sorry, Uber driven by humans.
Yes.
And it's not, that's taken for granted, I think. That, look, wouldn't it be amazing? How amazing would the world look when the cars are driving themselves fully? It's going to drive the cost down. You can remove the cost of drivers, all those kinds of things. But it's when you actually get down to it and have to build a business around it, it's actually very difficult to do. And I guess you're saying your sense is similar competition is facing cryptocurrency. Like you have to actually present a killer app reason to switch from fiat currency to Ethereum or to
And the
whatever.
Biden people are going to regulate crypto, and they're going to do it soon. So something like DeFi, I fully get why that is cheaper, or for some can be cheaper than other ways of conducting financial intermediation. But some of that is regulatory arbitrage. It will not be allowed to go on forever, for better or worse. I would rather see it given greater tolerance. But the point is, banking lobby is strong. The government will only let it run so far. There'll be capital requirements, reporting requirements imposed, and it will lose a lot of those advantages.